house.
Lumos Maxima.
Before the boy who lived, before the marauders, and long before Dumbledore twinkled his eyes at first years, there were 4 visionary witches and wizards who laid the very foundation of the magical world we know today. Meet the founders of Hogwarts, Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin, whose names still echo through the enchanted corridors of their beloved castle. But they were more than just figureheads. They were revolutionaries, idealists, and occasionally, bitter rivals. Hogwarts Castle, the living legacy. Hogwarts isn't just a school. It's a fortress of enchantment, built at a time when witches and wizards were being persecuted throughout Europe. The founders, worried for the future of magical children, set out to create a sanctuary hidden from the Muggle world. The location? A remote Scottish mountain range, protected by charms so complex even today's best spellcrafters scratch their heads trying to decode them. The castle is alive with magic, moving staircases, talking portraits, secret passageways, and the enchanted ceiling in the Great Hall that mirrors the sky outside. Legends say that Rowena Ravenclaw herself designed much of the structure, while Salazar Slytherin crafted its most infamous feature, the Chamber of Secrets. Built with the intent of outlasting its founders, Hogwarts is steeped in enchantments and cloaked in mystery. It doesn't just teach magic, it breathes it. Godric Gryffindor, the lion-hearted liberator. Before Hogwarts, Godric was born in Godric's Hollow, a village that would later become sacred ground in magical history. As a young man, he was known for his daring feats and dueling skills, often stepping in to protect magical folk from unjust persecution. He was famously accepting of Muggleborns, believing that bravery and magical talent were not dictated by blood. He carried a goblin-crafted sword, encrusted with rubies and designed to present itself only to those who truly embody courage. This sword wouldn't just be a relic, it would one day help destroy Horcruxes and bring down Voldemort himself. At Hogwarts, Gryffindor believed education should be accessible to those who had the nerve and courage to face adversity, regardless of their lineage. His house became a breeding ground for heroes, rebels, and risk-takers. Students like Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, and Neville Longbottom would later walk in his footsteps, often quite literally into danger. After Hogwarts, Godric remained a powerful voice in magical society, championing unity and fairness. His disagreements with Salazar Slytherin over the inclusion of Muggleborns became legendary clashes that foreshadowed the house rivalries to come. While Gryffindor faded into myth, his values never did. And his sword, like his spirit, would rise in times of darkness. Helga Hufflepuff, the steadfast soul of the school. Before Hogwarts, born in medieval Wales, Helga was known as a master of healing magic and culinary charms. Unlike her more elitist peers, she welcomed everyone to her table. Her belief in hard work, equality, and compassion made her a beloved figure in magical circles. Helga was also responsible for developing many of the charms and enchantments used in the Hogwarts kitchens. And yes, she was likely the mastermind behind the house elf workforce, which she treated with uncommon dignity for the time. At Hogwarts, the Hufflepuff House accepted students based not on prestige or potential, but on dedication, loyalty, and fairness. Often underestimated, Hufflepuffs have produced some of the most tenacious and selfless witches and wizards, from Nymphadora Tonks to Cedric Diggory. Helga was also a diplomat, playing a key role in keeping the peace between her more volatile co-founders. Her warmth held the school together during its more fractious moments. After Hogwarts, Helga's legacy remains in the very spirit of the school: inclusive, nurturing, and just. Her personal artifact, a small gold cup, became a treasured heirloom, until it was stolen and turned into one of Voldemort's Horcruxes, a dark twist on her once pure legacy. Rowena Ravenclaw, the towering intellect with a tragic end. Before Hogwarts. Rowena was born in the Scottish Highlands, and by the age of 7 was already crafting spells that made seasoned wizards jealous. She was known not just for her intelligence, but for her innovative thinking and deep introspection. Rowena was obsessed with the concept of magical knowledge and the pursuit of higher understanding. At Hogwarts, she selected students who valued wit, creativity, and a hunger for learning. Ravenclaw Tower, with its riddling door and breathtaking view, reflects Rowena's belief that only those who challenge their minds should be rewarded. Rowena may have been the architect behind much of Hogwarts' design, blending function with arcane artistry. But behind her towering intellect hid a profound sadness. After Hogwarts, her story took a tragic turn when her daughter, Helena Ravenclaw, ran away with her enchanted diadem, a crown that allegedly enhanced wisdom. Rowena, devastated, never fully recovered. Legend says she died of a broken heart, never reconciling with Helena, who herself became the ghostly Grey Lady of Ravenclaw Tower. Salazar Slytherin, the mastermind, turned outcast. Before Hogwarts, Salazar came from the Eastern Fenlands, and his magic was as dark and mysterious as the swamps that raised him. He was a renowned Parseltongue and deeply versed in the dark arts, though he wasn't necessarily evil, just radically conservative in his views. Slytherin believed in a pure-blood aristocracy, fearing that Muggleborns might bring danger or weakness to the wizarding world. While his intentions were debated, his methods grew increasingly divisive. At Hogwarts, Slytherin's house prized ambition, cunning, and resourcefulness. Many of history's greatest strategists and most notorious dark wizards came from his lineage, but so did survivors, leaders, and innovators like Severus Snape and Merlin himself. He built the Chamber of Secrets, housing a basilisk that would lie dormant for centuries until awoken by his heir, Tom Riddle. The chamber's very existence shows the depth of mistrust and paranoia that eventually drove Salazar from the school. After Hogwarts, no one truly knows what became of him. Some say he disappeared into the shadows, others say he continued his magical experiments in isolation. What is certain is that his descendants, including the Gaunt family and Lord Voldemort, carried on his name, though whether he would have approved of their legacy remains unclear. Epilogue. The spell that still stands. Together, these 4 founders created more than a school. They forged a magical institution that would shape generations. Their personalities and conflicts are embedded in the house system. Their artifacts became sacred, and sometimes cursed, and their influence extended well beyond their time. Though torn apart by ideology, the founders shared a common dream: to protect and teach the next generation of witches and wizards. And in that dream, they succeeded. Albeit not without a bit of chaos, tragedy, and dark legacy sprinkled in. The founders of Hogwarts weren't perfect, but that's exactly what makes them so fascinating. They were bold, flawed, and entirely human. Their ideals are still debated, their relics are still hunted, and their castle is still standing. So next time you sit under the sorting hat, remember, you're not just joining a house, you're stepping into a centuries-old story still unfolding.
Mischief managed. Nox.